Hi, well, welcome to our live class. Uh, Today is July 16th, 2025, and it's been almost 10 years that, that we've been here in YouTube sharing content related to start a business in the US, register your company, bank accounts, address, and so on. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, sharing a little bit more about our knowledge, about the success case that we've been seeing in the American market from the past 10 years, and guiding you to your next endeavor, or for the next, or guiding you to the next through the next phase of your exponential growth. Well, this live class is part of a series of lives that that we have here on our YouTube channel every month, where we share more about business strategies or business matters, um, about doing business in the US. Okay. We also have a webinar that happens usually on the last week of the month, where we share more like the technical stuff about accounting, taxes in the US. So more towards different LLC, corporation, different tax brackets, tax structures, and so on. And today I have the pleasure of share with you guys some success case and some strategies to help you make your first sale in the US. The goal today is not to promise you and not to drive you to make $1 million sale tomorrow. That's definitely not what we are trying to do here. What you're trying to accomplish here is to uh, introduce you to some different strategies that clients or companies that we know applying when they were launching their products in the US. I'm gonna give some examples. I'm gonna talk more about software as a service, also about online services, digital services, software development, e-commerce, and wholesale. So there's a little bit of content to everybody. I'm pretty sure that you may thinking who am I, and there we go. So my name is Diego Sampaio. As I said before, I'm one of the co-founders of Globalfy. Globalfy is an American company that I co-founded 10 years ago, and we've been helping over 10,000 customers from 100 different countries in the process of forming their business, so company registration they ask, providing them with a real valid business address, also supporting their accounting need, bookkeeping and tax needs, and providing customer service in different languages. So although this call is in English, we have customers from all over the world, and we also have customer service in Portuguese, Spanish, and English. So if you speak Spanish or Portuguese, we have another live in this channel that I have exactly the same content, but for you. Okay. The main differentiation from Globalfy and not from other companies is how serious we take customer service. So instead of just registering your company, we're here to guide you to the process. We register your company, we guide you to the next steps. We're gonna help you with the ITIN, then with the annual reports, sales tax, income tax, banking account, and so on. So it's really a complete service where we've been helping, and we've helped over 10,000 entrepreneurs to really establish themselves in the US. I also would like to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have right now over 23,000 subscribers. We have new content every day of the week from Monday to Monday. We are sharing how you can do business in the US. I also invite you to thumbs up, to like this video. This definitely helps us in the distribution. And again, you have the share button. If you can share this video on your LinkedIn, with your friends, on your WhatsApp group where you have with other entrepreneurs, do that, please. Helping them is actually helping us. So I would like now to come to the first phase, where I'm gonna just give a quick briefing about doing business in the US. So why you need to sell in the United States and worldwide today? First reason, it's global scale opportunity, right? You may be in a country that is not as well known for their stability as you're gonna have in the US. So US companies, they usually have a more they have some branding around them in terms of stability, the level of innovation they bring, and how they can definitely provide services to companies all over the world. The second one is that US is the largest market for problem solvers, right? Americans and American companies, they are looking to hire companies and services that help them solve them problems. I mean, they have money to do that. That's one really important thing here, and I'm gonna get more towards that during the presentation. Selling the US is actually more accessible than it seems. You may think, well, I have to make like $1 million investment to set up my company in the US, or I can't start with a small operation, which is not true. Set up a company in the US takes from 2 to 3 weeks. You can do that 100% remotely. After that, you're gonna have access to a bank account. Through that bank account, you can set up your payment processors. You're gonna have your debit card. You can accept multiple and different payment methods. You can sell not just in the US, but actually to all over the world. And again, it costs you less than $1,000, right? Which in euros right now is around 850 euros. I mean, it's way cheaper than set up in a lot of different countries from Europe. Even when you compare to the cost of setting up a company in some countries in Latin America, even with the currency rate, still cheaper to register a company in the US than to register a company somewhere else. In some case, it's not for everybody, but in some case, your costs are already tied up to dollar, but your revenue isn't yet, right? So depending on the country that you are right now, so this excludes Europe. So let's say you're in Africa or Asia. When you buy a MacBook, you're probably doing that, and certainly the dollar conversion rate impacts the cost of the product, right? But again, when you're gonna pay for AWS services, when you're gonna pay for Notion subscription, you're also paying that in US dollars. So I mean, dollar impacts in the cost of you operating your business. So why don't you have also revenue in US dollars? That's the key thing here. At least to equalize that, right? So there are opportunities in the US. There's a lot of opportunities in the US, and today I'm going to show you how to start acquiring customers in the US. And of course, what works in your country probably worth more in the US, right? So if you're selling a software in your home country for $20, probably there are margins and there are ways that you can sell the same software in the US for $40. And then you may be thinking, well, why someone from the US would hire a product or a service from someone from my country? Let me ask you, when was the last time that you checked where a product was manufactured, or where the software team, where the software team you subscribe to is located? I mean, does it really matter if you hire a software as a service and the team is in Bangladesh, or is in Brazil, or as if it's in Canada? Usually that's not the case, right? So what really matters is solving the problem. So again, let's be problem solvers. 5 biggest mistakes that I'm gonna help you to avoid after this presentation. The first one is entering in the market without a real commitment. You just think that you're gonna translate your website, or you're gonna put a phone number in the US, and that's it. You are now a global company that you can sell everywhere. That's not true, right? Well, it's the same thing even inside your own country. So if I have a company that operates, let's say, in the south of a country, and they want to start selling a product for the north of a country, if you don't have a specific strategy for that, it will probably not work. It's the same thing for the US. So why do you think that's just translating the website or set up a phone number in the US that you're going to get business from there? No, you have to have a real commitment, right? And you can't just try to sell to everyone. You have to focus on a clear niche. You're going to see that all the success case that I'm bringing here, they are focused on a specific niche. You cannot underestimate the power of local social proof. So social proof is going to be really, really important. And you can't ignore the importance of local legal structure and operations. That's where Globalfy helps you in all the process of setting up your business, make sure that you have in your bank account and you're running in compliance with the IRS. I'm gonna bring a lot of examples around the beachhead strategy. If you don't know that, check that on ChatGPT or Google. But look, the beachhead strategy is basically choose a small space and dominate it. You have to make sure that you're dominating at least a small part of the market that you are looking to get in. Then you need, yeah, I'm sorry, because you need traction to grow. So you first need to establish yourself in a strategic place, even if that place is small, to start gaining traction to take your business to the next level. Starting now with the software as a service. So I'm going to be sharing here how software as a service companies or platforms are approaching and acquiring in a successful way their first customers in the US. So, well, first thing is important to mention that the US accounts for over 50% of global software as a service consumption. Can you imagine that? So for every $1 million that is spent in SaaS in the world, 500,000 goes to happens inside the US. It's crazy, right? It happens because American companies, they understand and they value software that delivers return over investment. If you do that by creating automation, so by automating process, reducing costs, creating opportunities, and more, I mean, they're looking for that. They're looking for a software that helps on their production, right? And they also are more open to higher tickets, higher tickets, and also they deliver a longer lifetime value for software as a service. And I can tell, look, we have customers in Globalfy from a lot of different countries, and it's really clear, and we can see trends from each country. So we can see that one country, they usually have a higher ticket versus another country, even though we are offering the same service, okay, at the same price. But this country, customers will usually choose a plan essential on that country. Customers will choose starter, and I can tell customers from North America, the US, and Canada, they usually have a higher ticket size and a longer lifetime value. And if you sell in the US, you're more likely to be able to sell to many other markets too. And there are way more options for you to raise capital if you have customers in a global level than if you have customers only in a local level. If you have customers only in a local level, usually, not always, but usually, you're gonna have to make deals with VCs that are inside that area, right? On the other hand, if you have customers all over the world, you can actually do great deals with VCs all over the world. And when it's time to sell the company, it's going to be also easier. You're going to have more options. Talking about a simple structure for software as a service companies. It's basically a US company. You're going to have a business bank account, and you're going to have a global payment processor. Pretty simple. We can help you with all those 3 steps. Online, I mean, it's simple, but it's important to mention that you're going to have to localize your website, your social media to English, and making sure that you're bringing a lot of social proof for your content. And talking about online presence, it's really, really important that you do a good use of review platforms such as G2, Cloud, or Trustpilot. For example, Globalfy and Trustpilot, we have in Trustpilot we have over 500 reviews with a 4.8 star rate, which help us a lot in terms of acquiring new customers because they get real reviews and they can trust us. That happens on LinkedIn, and on LinkedIn you have to always have a presence in English, sharing the story of your company and how you're building up. Reddit, which is a forum, it's pretty strong in the US. It may not be in your country, but in the US it's really, really strong. And again, if you develop your product around the platform, let's say around a Shopify platform, there's a lot of forums also inside Shopify where you can start creating relationships, and you can start creating relationships and creating rapport, right, with the audience. So answering questions, being active in the forum. I have two cases here, one from Ireland and another one from Canada. This is from an Irish company, it's called Customerly. They do an AI solution for customer service platforms, and they had an interesting strategy. They launched their product or relaunched their product on Product Hunt. You get to the top 5 position of product of the day. How they did it? They started with a nice story that could differentiate them. So they create a fun story about a cat named Cat Purry to illustrate the use of the features, supported by demo video. So instead of having someone like we are doing right now, just speaking to the camera, they have a cat introducing their software, which caught some attention, right? To be able to do that, they create a really interesting landing page on Product Hunt, and they had a freemium strategy. So they were offering a set of tools for free, and they would offer 50% discount for the upgrades. So myself, as someone that has fear of missing out, or I'm early adopter, I would go to Product Hunt and say, look, I believe that this software may help here on Globalfy's customer service area. I would hire them for free, try it. If I like it, I would do an upgrade with 50% discount, which is kind of really good. So they remove the tractions of hiring the products. And then they invested a lot in social proof. So they activated their customers and local community to vote and leave comments, and hire an influential Product Hunt user to post the launch, boosting the credibility and the reach for their product. So I mean, look, it was a strategy of having something that would caught the attention, a freemium model, plus social proof. And they got some good results, right? And they shared that on their blog. So from that page, at that time, they had 50 signups that created them $500 MRR, right? Monthly recurring revenue. They got 1,800 website visits in 3 days, and they were contacted by 2 major VCs. So again, if they were looking to get their first customers in the US, they did it, right? Quite well. So I mean, it's not that hard, right? It's just a matter of, again, focus and testing. Now I have here an example from one review that is actually a company from Canada. The owner is a drop shipper. He had a hard time collecting reviews for the products, so he created the product. And they did something that is really, really helpful and smart. That is get support through other success. What does it mean? Look, instead of them having a SaaS, right, and selling that directly only on their website, they actually created the SaaS and connected to Shopify. And they listed their SaaS inside the Shopify marketplace. So what happens? Now the entrepreneur, he doesn't have to trust on your company anymore. I mean, they just go to Shopify marketplace, search for solution for reviews. They're gonna see the tool, they're gonna click install it. It's a one-click installation process. He's gonna pay to Shopify, and Shopify is gonna pay to you. So the process is really, really simple. And through that, he was able to start acquiring customers. He also take advantage of the ecosystem around Shopify, not just about the Shopify app store. So he partnered up with Shopify development agencies and start offering them revenue share programs. So look, you have this challenge, right? I bet when you're developing a website, your customer want reviews, you have a hard time getting them. Here's a plugin, costs you $15 a month. I'm gonna give you a rebate on that. Pretty clever. And then they also, of course, invested to collect their social proof reviews. As of today, they have 12 reviews on App Store with a five-star rate, if I'm not wrong. So this means that they had at least 100, 150, 200 reviews in the past year. So this is a brand new company, which will probably bring them to a 20, 30, whatever, thousand ARR, which is not that bad, right? If you're just looking from this point of view, okay? Yeah, I mean, SaaS is a really interesting market because it usually can be easily adapted to different countries, different customers' needs, right? Again, it's just a matter of you figuring out what niche you're gonna serve, which niche your software already serves, how you're gonna start collecting the first customers, create the social proof, and find the way to distribute that the software, right? And I brought here two cases: one that uses Product Hunt, and another one that uses the Shopify App Store, the Shopify ecosystem, to start collecting their first clients. Now let's go to online sales. Online services and software development. Well, again, it's all about focus, right? So focus on niches where you have case studies that you can prove return over investment. The more specific you are in the niche, the better, right? So instead of just saying that you are a software developer or a nodes developer, be really specific. So we are pretty good doing plate integrations for fintechs, or we are really good developing solutions for hospitals. We are really good providing online trainings for engineers that do offshore work. See, it's way different than just say that you are a software developer, or that you just do professional trainings. I mean, be really specific, find a niche. Then build a US-oriented portfolio. Showcase metrics and draw comparisons with American companies to highlight the value delivered. What do we mean about make comparisons? So look, if you serve the largest bank in your country, look for a bank in the US that is about the same size and use them as an example. Look, I provide service for XY bank. It's like a Chase for the US, Chase for Pakistan or for Colombia, whatever. So now they start to understand, oh, okay, now I understand what is the size of the company. Because, again, your clients may be big in your country, but they may not be big in the US. So creating that connection will definitely help you to acquire your first clients. And then remember, you are now a US company. You're not a company from Nigeria anymore, or from UK, or a German company. Now you're an American company. So your team may be abroad, but your business is local in the US now. Take advantage of that. Remember that contracts, payment methods, customer service, they have to be based on they have to be tailor-made for the country that you're serving. So if your customers are in the US, have customer service on their time frame, on their time zone, and so on, right? So again, as an American company, you can have your American bank, you can collect payments directly in the US, you can hire software in the US, you can pay for professionals, market agents in the US, just like any other American company would be able to do. Win your first customer within the niche you are targeting, even if that's not gonna bring you profit. I mean, at the first, you just can't just be looking for profit. You need to be looking to create your success case. Once you have the customer, create a case study, and then approach other customers that are on the same niche. That will definitely help you to start getting your first clients. And networking, right? You can, in general, American companies, they are part of some kind of organization, sector organization, or entrepreneurs, they like to be part of something else. So actively participate in industry-specific groups, and whenever it's possible, attend key events in Silicon Valley, in New York. I mean, wherever your clients are, go to those events, shake their hands. Remember that although you can make a small deal remotely, usually big deals are built through relationships. So first, create the relationship, create the rapport with a consumer, and then you're going to be able to start collecting sales. If you're looking at this time now more towards build your online presence and sell online, it's fine also. I brought here some options for you, so like Clutch.co, Goodfirms.co, Upwork.com. I mean, those are all marketplaces where you can list your service, and then American companies looking for a specific service maybe find you and then get a quote, or you can even apply for jobs that they are offering. Talking about case, let's go now with software development. So this is a company from Brazil. It's called Snowman Labs. So in their case, their first step was register their company in the US and start operating like an American company. So although their team is based in Brazil, they register a subsidiary in the US, and now they're acting like an American company. With that American company, they were able to apply for an incubation process inside UCF, University of Central Florida. That opened a lot of doors for them. And then by participating in tech events all over the US, they secured their first contract and turned it into a market entry case. So now they don't have just case from customers in Brazil. Now they have case from customers in the US, and they can approach other companies that are in the same market. So let's say if I develop software for fintechs and I made a deal with a small fintech, now I can knock on another fintech door and say, look, I already built this. I did this planned integration that I said that I would do. This is the return on investment. This is the cost. This is how the process works. This is how we can help you solve a problem. But now you have an American success case, which has a high value. For the last result that I saw about Snowman Labs that they made it public is that the 30% of their whole income came from companies not based in their home country in Brazil. Another case here from Bold Pixel, there's a company from Colombia. They start selling their products with a really nice storytelling, right? They say that they are an American creative studio mixing Latam spice with Silicon Valley speed. So if you mention Silicon Valley, you probably knows already that their target market is startup companies, right? So look, what they did, they created a really focused strategy to approach startups through different ways. One was through content, right? So they want to sell design services for startups. They create an article and they start creating assets around 5 pitch deck trends for Y Combinator startups. So a startup founder that we're looking to apply to Y Combinator, that is definitely inside their customer profile, they would show in the search with some examples and free templates for those entrepreneurs. At the same time, they create a really well-crafted profile on Upwork. That is a marketplace for online services in general, and they were actively applying for projects within its chosen niche. There is startups. So if entrepreneur came to the platform, asked for someone to do their logo, they would apply. To do a keynote presentation, they would apply. Even though their margin was small or there was no profit margin, they wanted, again, to create the portfolio inside the US. And let's say now that entrepreneur that they create the brand is accepted in Y Combinator, and someone comes up and says, look, man, you have an amazing brand. How did you do that? Do you know someone that can create a landing page for myself or can create a pitch deck? Yes, definitely, I know it. Come and talk to the Bold Pixel company. Again, same thing, niche, networking, social proof, right? So those are the key points here for all sort of software as a service and technology and digital services. Well, look, we get to the middle of our life, and it's really, really important that you understand the key characteristics or the key challenges to launch your product in the US. The same way that you have to understand the key opportunities that the American market brings to your company. If you join us right now, feel free to post your question here on the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Or if you don't have questions, check our other videos inside our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of content related to start and manage a business in the US, and also have those like lives like this where we share more about the business side of growing in a company in the US. I also invite you to access our blog at globalfy.com, where you can definitely read articles also about creating your company. And if you have questions, Bruno, my team, I'm going to ask you guys to put on here in the chat already the WhatsApp link, so those entrepreneurs they can start getting in touch with our sales representatives. They will guide them to the process of registering a company in the US. So now let's switch from technology, digital services to e-commerce. Let's go. E-commerce. What channel should you choose? Should you choose Amazon or Shopify? Well, I'm going to bring two cases, and each one decided for a different strategy. There's no right answer here. Okay, you may choose to start with one or another, but I can tell you both Shopify and Amazon are the best place for you to start your e-commerce expansion to the US. Again, talking about the beachhead strategy, focus on a product niche and a channel with the highest initial traction. What I mean here is that, again, don't try to sell sand in the desert, right? Try to sell water in the desert. Try to sell a product that really has a key differentiator. Otherwise, you'll be only competing for price. And I'll tell you, competing for price is tough, right? It's not easy for sure. You have some tools like Jungle Scout, Google Trends, and Helium 10, where you can start validating demand, checking what are the main keywords for a specific product, what is the sales volume, the visit volume, and so on. And again, social proof in e-commerce is also really, really important. And you can use some user-generated content, it's called UGC, to speed the process of getting reviews and getting social proof from actual customers or actual people using your product. There are a bunch of marketplaces in the US where you can create projects to start. Collecting those social proofs, those UGC, and then you're gonna use that on your social media for ads or on Amazon or Shopify for reviews. There's a simple pack for operation. It's gonna be a US company, a business bank account, and a payment gateway. All of that Globalfy helps you. Easy peasy. You can do that remotely. Takes about 3 weeks for you to be up and running. Then you have to take care about logistics, right? You have a few options, like cross-border, that is sending the products directly from your home country or the country where your inventory is. Fulfillment by Amazon FBA, which is really, really important for Amazon sellers, right? It's really important to use their fulfillment network. You also can have your own 3PL, that is a logistics provider, or you can use a print-on-demand service. And I have a really interesting case here around the print-on-demand. And there are different platforms like Shopify, Amazon, Wayfair, Walmart, and eBay that you can sell once you have an American company, right? So I mean, those are some of the key platforms to sell, some of the different logistics operations, and like the starter package for operation. That is the US entity, the business bank account, and the payment gateway. Now bring here two different cases. One is from Brazil, the other one is from Portugal. This is Amor Dourado from Brazil, right? Where did they start selling their products? On Amazon or Shopify? Well, they decide to start selling on both. Why? Shopify, they would focus on having their whole catalog, but look ways to increase the average order value. So they would have a lot of products to try to make customers purchase more than one product at a time. On the other hand, on Amazon, they got a different approach. On Amazon, a curated catalog of low competition products and focus on volume. So on Amazon, it's harder to sell bundles or multiple products, right? People will buy an earring from you and a necklace from someone else. On your website, you can sell the earring, the necklace, and something else for the consumer, right? So I mean, they took different approach for each one of the channels. And then, again, they had focus. I mean, they understood that it would be way better and cheaper for them to try to acquire customers that were Spanish speakers, women based in the US, than to sell to all women in the US. There's a huge difference in terms of ads and how to drive those sales, right? So they find a niche and they focus on that niche with ads in Spanish also on social media, using UGC as their social proof. So instead of having just a picture of the product, they had a real video from a person using the product, explaining the product, and so on. So Amor Dourado is a really interesting case because they have a low price product and they were able to get their first sales in the US using this strategy. Then you're gonna have Justline. Justline is a company from Portugal, two young entrepreneurs, they're a couple. They ended up deciding by Shopify. Why Shopify? Because it's fully integrated with their print-on-demand platform. So what did they do? They sell personalized products like hoodies, hats, mugs, for families, couples, and pets. Well, actually, if you get to their website today, they are way more focused in pets. So again, they keep evolving. But this young couple, they are in Forbes, Portugal, this month, or they were in past month, and they are doing over $3 million in sales per month with this strategy. A niche. Now it looks like there is way more customized pet products. So a niche, selling globally because their print-on-demand partner has factories and distribution centers in more than one country, and also they can ship anywhere in the world. And if you check their ads and on the Instagram, the majority of them are based on UGC, featuring families and pets. Again, social proof, niche, platform. You understood, right? So I mean, those are two different cases talking about e-commerce, and I think that they are interesting because they bring different perspectives or different strategies about entering the US. And again, the goal here is today is not talk about how you're going to make $1 million tomorrow, but instead of that, how you're going to make your first sale and start growing your business in the US. And again, if you're selling on Amazon, this is pretty simple. You probably do this same strategy in your home country, in Amazon or other marketplace. But if you're in the US, using the fulfillment by Amazon is mandatory. Otherwise, your hardly is going to be a prime seller. So use fulfillment by Amazon in the US. Have a good listing optimization. Use the Amazon review strategy. Amazon Vine early review program. There are programs that Amazon offer for you to get reviews, the social proofing, and then of course PPC. But this is not that different, right? Now let's talk about wholesales. So selling your products in a volume for distributors, for example. Distributors, I'm sorry. So wholesale. Look, there's a minimum structure that is required for you to start building trust and operating smooth in the US. Again, business bank, a registered business in the US, a dollar-based bank account, and different payment methods. Globalfy helps you with that, right? It's really, really important that you position yourself as the importer of record, offering a domestic delivery, like a domestic experience. It's not telling someone that, look, you're going to buy these products and you're going to pay me in China or you're going to pay me in Brazil, and then I'm going to send you the products. You're going to have to take care of the customs, the duties, tax. That doesn't work well when you're entering the country. Offer a full solution. Look, these products cost you $400. You're going to pay $400 myself, and it's going to be delivered for your door. DDP, delivery duty paid. So I mean, make your customer's life easier. Define, of course, your ideal retailer profile, super simple, and show stability and a long-term presence. No one likes to add a product on their catalog knowing that in 3 months that product will not be available anymore. So it's really important when you're dealing with your customers in the US that you show them that you're committed you're committed with your US operation, and that you're going to be here for the long term. You can also do some prospecting online. We're using online tools such as Bulletin, ArangeMe. I mean, those are all platforms that you, as a manufacturer, can list your products and retailers can find you. And of course, trade shows, right? There are over 13,000 trade shows in the US every year. Most of them located in Las Vegas, Chicago, New York, Orlando. So I mean, look, there's certainly a trade show that is focused on the niche that you're looking to sell. So if you're selling furniture, you're gonna see a case here. There are some trade shows for furniture. If you're selling jewelry, others, clothes, cosmetics, and so on. So I mean, there's a bunch of options here. So talking about furniture, this is a case. This is an industry from Spain. I couldn't share, unfortunately, their name. But they attend the High Point Market trade show. It's the world's largest furniture trade show in the world. The world's largest furniture trade show. They had a small space over there, not fancy, a small space. And their goal was not to make any sale at the fair, but actually to collect leads mostly from designers, local retail chains, and US distributors. And they did that. After the trade show, they started getting in touch, and they simplified the purchasing and payment process by consolidating containers and offering DDP pricing. Again, instead of them telling their customers, the customer had to put a $50,000 order, a full container of products. Now, they allow them to buy 2, 3, 4 products from a final price of $400, delivery duty paid. So, I mean, the brand the retailer knows, or the designer knows, that the final cost of the product will be $400 with all included, for example. So, I mean, those are things that seems simple, but that they make a huge difference in your negotiation process. And then, of course, after they made their first sale and start gaining traction, they hired local sales representatives to open new sales channels. But again, they first started, test the market, really focus, and then start expanding. This is a brand from Brazil. It's called Farm Hill. They started, they're pretty big in Brazil, okay? But they started their operation in the US small. So they started with a collaboration with Anthropology. That is a big retail chain from the US. But again, they tested the market with capsule collections. So small collections, not a huge one, highlighting Brazil tropical aesthetics. Then they began investing in licensing and distributing those products through major retailers like Nordstrom. So they started small, testing, seeing what would sell, adjusting the product size, the product label, and then they started investing in expansion. Once they were well established, then they had their first shop in New York, and nowadays they have a bunch of shops in the US. And they capture clients mostly by investing in targeting, digital marketing, with a vibrant visual identity, maintaining the Brazilian branding, reinforcing their unique edge. Again, this is not a plain white or black dress. It has a value. It delivers something different, has a differentiator. And this is what I've been telling you. You have to find that, right? And there's one thing, and there's a few things that all those cases they have in common. The 8 cases that I just presented. All of them had a focus and strategy specifically tailored to the US and global operation. They're not just existing. They have a strategy to grow their business in the US. The second one is resilience. They kept testing until they found the right niche, the right product, the right sales channel. I mean, as entrepreneurs, we know we have to keep trying until we find the right way. And they also offer a true competitive edge. No one was selling sand on the desert or a white shirt for $5 on Amazon. Each one was selling a different a product with a key differentiator. And they leverage existing partners, ecosystems, and solutions. So they're using Shopify, or they are selling on Amazon, or they are running to one of the trade shows. I mean, so they didn't create everything from scratch. They were definitely using something that was already there, and it's available to everybody, including you. And they also use a lot of social proof for their advantage. So those are 5 key takeaways from this whole live class, right? You have to have focus. You have to be resilient. You have to have a competitive advantage. You have to leverage on existing partners, ecosystem, and solutions, and you have to use social proof on your favor. And now it's your turn. It's your turn to get into the US. It's your turn to start expanding your business for the American market, and also use that as a platform to launch your products, your service, your software to customers all over the world in a global level. I would like to invite you to get in touch with our sales team or specialists here at Globalfy. I mean, as I said before, we have 65 team members helping international clients every day in the process of expanding into the US. You can get in touch with us by email, by website, or by WhatsApp, and the link is here in the comments. And by WhatsApp, I mean, you're going to be answered right away with one of our sales specialists that's going to be able to guide you and helping you navigate how you're going to enter the American market. Well, this is a live class that we do every month, usually on the middle of the month, where we share more business-wide strategies. But also every month we have a webinar by the end of the month, on the last week of the month, where we come like to the basics, like LLC versus corporation, income tax, sales tax, how to apply to a bank account, and so on. So I mean, it's pretty interesting subjects for anyone looking to establish and to grow to the US. Especially this end of the month, we're going to have a special guest, that's Alex Enumo. He's an entrepreneur. He's been operating in the US since 2015 or 2016, so almost 10 years or 10 years. And he has a lot of knowledge in terms of launching a brand, adapting the products, finding the right niche. And he's going to be a special guest, sharing also his experience with you. Follow us here, subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, like this video, follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn. We have fresh content every day to help you to achieve your goals inside the American market. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this was helpful. Leave your comments, your questions here, or get in touch with your team. We're here to help. My name is Diego Sampaio. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.